Hi everyone, it's Mia here, and today we're going to be talking about my second, I'm not going to say favorite, we already knew Jinx is my favorite, my second favorite Arcane character, Vi. Y'all, Vi. I got a lot to say about you, girl, a lot. But today we're just going to get into just how tragic you are as a character, and how your inability to accept change mixed with your one main motive, the one thing you want to do, which is get your sister back, it doesn't clash very well. It ultimately creates for one of the saddest tragedies I've seen in the show. And without further ado, let's get into that. Let's elaborate on that a little bit more. So first, let's talk about her love for Powder. So even from when they were kids, we see just how much Vi loves Powder, and the codependency actually that came from, you know, their love style, their attachment style. And like even from that very first scene with Vi's parents' death on the bridge, we see that she automatically takes that parent role for Powder. You know, she never punishes Powder. She always defends Powder from Milo whenever he bullies her. And it's just, we just see automatically this love they have for each other. But more than that, the type of love they have for each other. Vi feels like she needs to protect Powder over anyone. Vi feels like Powder needs to be protected. Powder hates violence. She's the epitome of innocence. So, of course, Vi's like, I need to protect Powder. I need to protect Powder. Which is why it does not mix well with when we get to that fateful night and when she is put into prison. And with that, let's get into Vi's inability to accept change. So this is very difficult because she's put into this literal time capsule. She becomes our living, breathing time capsule, y'all. When you're like the world is moving around her and she's just in this cell. And her ideals stay the same, her motives stay the same. The only thing that she has to get her through is the idea of saving her sister, who's now been taken by Soko. And that's her one motive to get her through, the idea of getting back to her sister. But, you know, let's keep in mind, this being put in the cell, this becoming our living time capsule, keeps her in this mindset that doesn't necessarily line up with what's happening now, considering she can't see what's happening now. So in her mind, Powder still needs to be saved. Powder still hates violence. Powder is still innocent. Powder is still Powder. Which, as we know, someone who's been outside the cell before we get to seeing Vi, that's not exactly the case. Not really. So that's exactly what keeps their reunion from going good. That's exactly what makes it go so devastatingly wrong, actually. We see them reunite, you know, and that's all Vi's been wanting to do is find her sister. That's the whole reason she went with Caitlyn to begin with. She wants to find her sister, and so she finally does, and they both want the same thing. Oh, finally, it's gonna go so great. Vi is finally getting what she wants. She's getting to her sister. Jinx is finally seeing her sister again. Oh, how could this possibly go wrong? But it does. When we see Echo and the Firelight interrupt, and Jinx just goes ham. But she loves it. That's her moment. That is her place, y'all. She loves violence. She's having the time of her life. But this is where it goes wrong for Vi, and she's like, is this my sister? Like, literally, she's like, Powder. Like, you know, because in her head, all she has to remember her by is, my sister did not like violence. And here she is, reveling in it, ravishing in this moment, just loving it. What? Is this my sister? And this is what I'm talking about. And here she sees the change, but is she going to be able to accept it? And ultimately, this season, no. Which we really see in the tea party scene. Which is rough because we have this living time capsule who stayed in jail for like 6.5 years. And this character who changed the most out of all the other characters in Arcane. So we have the living time capsule and the epitome of change. Not gonna go together well. So we see the tea party scene when Vi is trying to get Powder back, and Jinx is just not, it's not working out because this is where we really see not just Vi's inability to accept change, but Vi's lack of seeing the change that's happened. She doesn't understand that Jinx has developed a bad connotation with her memory, with her past memories, as Vi has only been able to survive with those past memories, remembering Vander, in that scene where she was gonna, just take the loss, just lay there as Savika, like, had to beat her up, and she was like, maybe I should just take the L, and, she hears Vander's voice talking to her and telling her to get up, telling her that her sister needs her. They all still need her. And while for Jinx, actually, it's the opposite. These memories haunt her. They hurt her. There are voices in her head that discourage her. It's not what Vi thinks it is. They're not the same person. Jinx has developed through these traumas differently than Vi has. And that's what Vi can't not just accept, but can't see. And that's why she ultimately ends up doing the opposite of what she wanted to do and hurting Powder, and ultimately getting Jinx to choose the Jinx share, which is the opposite of what she wanted to happen. And that's what's so rough with these two. Their circumstances were the worst of the worst that could come upon them, and it was so rough. Because out of all things, not Vi dying, not anything, no. Vi had to become the living time capsule, while Jinx had become the epitome of change in the show. It's just so rough. So with that, in wrapping this all up, the absolute worst of the worst came upon these two, y'all. It was crazy. And that's why, Vi is one of the most tragic characters I've seen when it comes to, like, this show, and next to Jinx. And it's just so... And I think that's because Vi, all she wants to do is get to her sister. And everything possible is getting in the way of that. And that's what's so rough about it. But even past all this, I still love Vi because she's still our best symbol of hope in this show. Against Silco, as far as helping Jinx. And I just love watching her. But it's also very rough to watch because just everything she's trying to do, we as the audience watching, we're just like, no, because it's so the opposite. But, overall, we still love our little tragic little pink-haired girl. And yeah, so thank you all for watching. And I love you all. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And my next video will be out soon. Thank you all so much. Make sure to comment what character you like to see next, okay? Bye. Love you.